Good morning, and to celebrate the 6-month milestone for no drinking alcohol, I thought I'd combine it as a bit of a celebration with a bit of a walk round the farm and an update on how things are going on, because I do fully appreciate me sitting around just drinking a brew, talking about not drinking isn't everyone's cup of tea. So we'll start off trying to coax the smalls out, or as someone recently quite correctly pointed out recently, they're not small anymore. So I was going to say the mediums, but it doesn't sound very posh, does it? All right, Lucy, what's the word they use for posh coffees, the different sizes? I know grande is large, so pop it in the comments what a medium is. Come on you guys, it's time to get out. We've had a lot of, well, I wouldn't say big rain, but we've had a lot of mist and showers recently, so the goats aren't that keen to come out very early. Hey, buddy. All right, mate. The main reason I've chosen today to record this, because really it's a little bit more than the 6-month milestone. It's because Toon's off at the temple, and today is the start of Big Buddha Day, so it's Buddhist Lent, so she's going to have 3 months off the ale as well, which will help me. And believe me, I do need the help. No. My bye. Well, ball and chain, growing well. The escape artist, you two, aren't you? So a score out of 10 since we last chatted, because I believe it's 2 months now, and I would give it a 2 out of 10 for difficulty. It's like a low hum in the background. It's there quite often, me thinking that I'm missing a beer, but it's quite easy, guys. It's just the norm now that I'm not having one. It has been that way for some time. So why isn't it a 0? Well, I say it's just that thing in the background where I'm like, yeah, I quite fancy one. But apart from that, it's good. Weight loss, I put a bit back on. I'm eating more. I think it's to do with the video opportunity. I think it's to do with the neem tree, or if you're out here in Thailand, sadao. So I was munching on these every morning. So before you have anything to eat, munch on those on an empty stomach, and it clears your colon out. Also very good for making sure that you've not got any parasites, and because we keep a lot of goats that always have parasites, and because we're always throwing ourselves in muddy ditches catching fish by hand, it's a good safety net to have, and just have them now and again. So that's all I do, probably once a month, just have those. So to coin a phrase, I'm not quite so regular. they do have the effect of ripping through you like a Porsche. So weight loss has halted, and we've bounced back up a little bit. Do I feel any better for it? Oh, I feel old as hell, but I think that's the missus working me too hard. While on the subject of the missus, bedroom activity, it's pretty similar, guys. So it's I can't say that I'm a newfound stud muffin. I can't tell any difference, and she probably can't either. Not sure if it's going to be Louisiana style with the old Cajun spices, if I can work out how to make that, but we will do a catch and cook and eat video. This is the pond, but we've got some Siamese carp in here, featherbacks, a few big head Chinese big head carp, and we've got 10 giant makong. They're all babies in there. As they get bigger and bigger, they'll be thinned out. Do I think I'll be drinking again after the year's out? Well, I think the last couple of videos I was saying, I'm just not sure. And I have to be totally honest with you, and I probably don't like, I actually don't like saying it, I think I will. Weird, isn't it? I thought it'd go the other way, but I'm not going to lie to you, I do miss it. Although the craving is less, I do miss having that beer late afternoon, early evening with the missus. Here's our tilapia pond. They're a nice size in here. There's also some, this is going to be the pond that's next drained down, contents eaten, stroke released into the lake, and that will become our arapaima pond, hopefully. Still trying to source that. Gonna have once we've got everything tickety boo fish wise, I'm going to do a huge update on that, and if it all comes to fruition, I need to give a couple of shout outs to some people that I've never met before, but to date have been incredibly helpful and generous with their time. So but yes, exciting times on that sort of thing. Hyacinth pond is still the hyacinth pond. I keep taking it out and it keeps coming back. I have been throwing a lot of it into the lake. Don't worry, it's not going to take over. The fish are just smashing it to bits. So why don't I just bin this not drinking malarkey on the head if I'm missing it, and you know, I fancy a pint or two. It's probably a little bit sadistic, but I like the struggle. I like the challenge. I suppose it's my makeup. You know, being in a long-term, long-distance relationship with Toon, you know, working away in the UK and coming back here and all that sort of thing, and living by the seat of our pants on the farm, and you know, doing farming that we've never done before. Although Toon does come from a farming background, you know, she's on a steep learning curve. So I've always liked the struggle. I've always enjoyed the struggle, and maybe I've just thought of this. Maybe that's the reason that I won't give up, or maybe it's, or more like really, maybe that's the reason it seems a little bit easy and a little bit boring now to me, you know, because all the cravings are gone. You know, I don't feel like, oh, you know, I've got to have a beer, got to have a beer. I haven't been like that for ages. I mean, if there was ever a time that I was going to be like that, it was when I had to kill our goat the other month. And if I was still drinking then, I would have drank myself into oblivion, you know, just to try and get through it. I'll tell you what, I found some power that night, some strength in the strength that I didn't think I had in me, and I'm so glad that, you know, I wasn't on the ale for that experience. It made me front up and deal with it straight away. And I'm not knocking people that have a drink or more when times are difficult, because I have done that so many times. But yeah, that was I think that's been one of my high points for something that's been one of my lowest ever points, that doing that deed. The amount of strength that it's given me is incredible. So the old quicksand pond is full. We've had snakehead smashing around. We did start recording a video the other day that was overcast like this. We caught a load of shrimp out the lake and our little traps, and we stuck about 25 hooks out, and they stripped every single one bare twice during daylight. So it's not all snakehead or mudfish and catfish doing it. There's also climbing perch, there's little gouramis, and once a shrimp is dead, then everything will have a peck at it. So yeah, they totally mugged us off, and we were gonna carry on recording into the evening and catch a few frogs and go out, but like I say, I'm starting to feel my age big time. I don't know why. Maybe it's because my hay fever's starting up again. I don't know. I hope that's the reason. So I've got a new type of inhaler, the purple one, which is a mix between a preventative and one that stops me wheezing, and that seems to be helping. But Toon's struggling as well. She's on antihistamines tonight. She gets hay fever far worse than me. The big goats are still locked up in the house. You can hear a cockerel crowing, perhaps. That's Toon's nephew, Leigh. No, he's not the cockerel. He's left 2 cockerels on the island and a hen. So good for eating the scorpions and centipedes. Not good for shitting everywhere. Never mind. He's very kind to us, and quite often he takes our old Nissan Big M out and fills it up with Lucina for us and brings it back for the goats. And he even bought Uncle Leigh a bag of dragon fruit yesterday. A good lad. You got to love your dragon fruit straight out the fridge. I've got loads and loads of cuttings that have taken, and I want to plant them out now. It's perfect. It's this sort of weather. The sun's not particularly strong and there's plenty of drizzle in the air. I just don't know where to put them. I was going to put them all on the fence posts for the area keeping the goats in near the house, but that's all going to come out. That's why we didn't concrete all those in. So I don't know what we're going to put into letting them climb up. I don't want to really install anything I'd rather use something that's already there as you know, as a frame for them to climb. So I don't know yet. I don't know. I'm sure the goats wouldn't eat the plant, but I'm pretty sure they'd have the flowers, so I can't grow them at the side of the goat house or anything. Maybe in the orchard. Seen plenty of big snakes around. Well, say big, not the reticulated python size, but you know, about 2.5 metre, but quite slender snakes. I think most of them are rat snakes or something like that. We did have one the other night that the dogs wouldn't even take on. They were barking like crazy, so we went out, and it was quite a small snake. I didn't have the camera with me, but it was shaking its tail. Now, I know a lot of you are into your snakes and being able to identify them, but yeah, it wasn't making a rattling sound, and I don't know if they got rattlesnakes out here, but from what I've seen on telly, it coiled itself up quite into a quite tight ball, and sort of like got its neck ready as if it was gonna jump at you, and then just was shaking its tail. But I don't know if all snakes do that in defensive mode. But what was interesting is Spoon wouldn't even go near it. Gang never goes near anyway. She's good at spotting them and barking, but yeah, they wouldn't take it on, not two of them together, which is unusual. So I'm likely to be inclined to think that was a potentially venomous one. You see, if I'd been on the ale, I'd have probably took it on, but careful of the old nut sack. Oh, it's nearly gone. Spilt some of my coffee out my Babcocks. So I'm not as nimble and supple as I was before I gave up drinking. Drainage ditch is pretty much up to capacity. My weeping dam is weeping just round the corner. Plenty of fish showing in the lake now. Still not been able to get Macro Man back. Gutted. He's working away in Chiang Mai at the moment. He's got a project there, so by the time he gets back it'll probably be the bloody dry season, which is good for digging. But I wanted my fishing area sorted and some landscaping. Never mind though, if we always had our way and did things when we wanted to do them, quite often we'd do it wrong. I know we do a lot of things wrong anyway, but sometimes, you know, certainly things that have been big projects on the farm that have cost quite a lot of money, and we've had to wait quite a while to get the funds together. It gives you time to really think things through, and those ideas probably morph into another idea or a variation of that, you know, by the time the money's there to do the job, and it's a little bit different to how we first imagined. The elephant foot mushrooms, they are back big time, and it was lovely yesterday, although I couldn't help Toon because I was out with the herd while she was doing it, but she was picking them like crazy. My battery died, didn't it? I've just charged it quickly. Hopefully there's enough juice in there just to finish the video off. Right, a good vlogger would go back over to where the camera shut off and start again, and it would just run seamlessly for the rest of the video. But as I said, a good vlogger would do that. So I'm going to start off here and go back round to there. Right then, so jumping subject a little bit. I've got my OCD raised bed here, no weeds allowed. I've got a video coming up on growing produce in a tropical climate, new series, brand new series. I need to get round the crayfish pond with the strimmer again. Only lasts about a month before I have to do it again. The little goats can't, the mediums can't keep up with that. Water quality is clearing up nicely this time of year. Very, very little algae growth. Probably not that good for the young fish grow very quickly, but I've been adding the old cabbage leaves from the guy in the village off his stall that he doesn't sell. So yeah, hopefully that'll keep a little bit of zooplankton happy in there. Just so many different things I've been doing. I've been planting cuttings all over the place. Leigh or was it Panji, something like that, and Celine, I think the Thai word is Celinton. These grow quite easily. I'll just show you. during the dry season, the leaves just drop off. You're left with a bare tree, but you get these huge, wonderful, bright yellow flowers on them. And you all know these. They look a bit sad. If it was baking hot with little rain, I wouldn't just do cuttings and shove them straight in. I'd propagate them. So all the ones that we'd propagated through the dry season, they were all in when the rains came. This lot, once we got a week of overcast, drizzly weather, we just bung them straight in. I would say about 80% of them survive, even in our moon rock, which is gradually getting covered. Happy to say, we've got quite a few sweet tamarins put in now. We've just been waiting for the wet stuff to arrive. I've also started recording a napier grass video. I know, incredibly exciting. It's just that napier grass is playing an ever increasing role here on the farm, and it's a fodder system that we'd initiated a little while back, and we're increasing it now. So where I just showed you, that's where we put our initial stock in there. We were giving it free, so we thought, right, we'll bung it in there and propagate it, and then start growing it all over the place. So that's kept us busy. The booze side of things, I don't really feel like I'm missing the Hong Tong Pepsi and soda with loads of crushed ice that Toon and I used to have. But I do miss the taste of a Leo or a Chang. I went through a bit of a phase. I wasn't trying to cut down or anything, but when I wanted the taste and quench a thirst, I'd mix some Sprite into it. I know what you're thinking, Leigh, you're a bloody shandy drinker, or I used to be. No, it's just sometimes I'd want the sweetness, but still the taste of the beer. I know you could be saying, well, you're murdering the taste of a beer putting Sprite. I shouldn't have told you, should I? I got a pang for a shandy now and again, I tell you. I've been trying to stay off the sweet drinks. Certainly when I first stopped drinking the beer, I wanted that sugar rush. You know, you're looking for an replacement hit. Things like Oishi, Pepsi, I know. Vitamin C drinks, you know, all those sorts of things, just to get the, you know, just to keep your taste buds happy, really. And also the fruit smoothies were going great, but at the moment we're struggling to get the fruit going. I've planted so many new papaya trees, it's unbelievable, but they're still quite a way off before we can get the fruit. Got limes coming out of our ears, but I can't just have lime and honey. It's every day, it's a bit, you know. So hopefully when the fruit's ready, we can get the smoothies on the go again and mix some aloe vera with it. Our termite mud mushrooms, wow, they've been tipping up all over well, not all over the place, Leigh, don't over exaggerate, but in places we haven't had them before. Yeah, it's been really cool, really cool. In here as well, there's been a black mud mushrooms as well, or termite mushrooms, people call them different things. I can't see any from here, but you really need to get in there and have a good look. Oh, I've spotted one. This is just the normal termite mushroom. There it is in there. Don't know whether you can see it. So quite often Toon's picking them without me. I'm doing the farm chores and she'll go collecting those. I'm not knocking her. She does a marvellous job of it, and she uses a little wooden dibber. She doesn't use the knife, and if they're a little bit old, she either leaves them in situ or she just smashes them up or spreads them to other areas, maybe where there's a termite hill, but it obviously hasn't come into contact with the spores. So we're just trying to spread them out, as we did with the elephant mushrooms the last year, and now they're just all over the place. Toon got about 2 kg out here yesterday from them. You can see where she's been digging the mud mushrooms up here. So before I was rudely interrupted, the battery shut down. Yeah, yesterday Toon collected loads and loads of elephant foot mushrooms, and she took all of them into the village and beyond. I think she said when I asked her, 6 people she gave them to. I know we could sell them, but no, they don't cost us anything, and they're growing well. We can't eat them all. A real nice touch was she gave a bag full to the lady who owns the noodle shop, who's incredibly kind for her. She always saves her eggshells for me to put in the garden and the compost. So yeah, she gave her a bag of mushrooms, and in return she gave Toon a bag of eggshells. But it's the first time Toon had been able to give her something off the farm since the lady's husband unfortunately passed away. So it was nice to go and see her and see how she's doing. And for the sake of making a few baht, I tell you, giving stuff away, it's brilliant. It is really, really good. I know it's not much sense business wise, but a friend once said, oh, I do love my quotes, it's good to invest in people sometimes. And yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. If you're as tight as a duck's arse, give it a go, you'll find it quite enlightening. One thing I have noticed since knocking the booze on the head for a year is how unaware of the dangers you are here on the farm when you're tipsy. Look at that pasture. I couldn't wish for any better. Brilliant. That's probably, I probably haven't worded that right at all. You are aware. It's like you don't care so much. It's like you're a bit blasé. Flipping knackered yesterday. I fell over as well trying to throw some cabbage leaves into one of the ponds. You know, if I combine that with a couple of beers, it is flipping dangerous. Yeah, I mean, I'm covered in cuts and bruises as it is. So, looking back now, you know, beer o'clock was once the goats were back in the house and we were sitting down and Toon was starting like a little fire or something like that, or we were getting something ready for the next day. After the year's up, unless it's sort of like we have visitors or something like that, I would be putting that back another couple of hours, you know, to when we're actually sat down at the house. Well, I'm sat down catching up with the online stuff, and Toon is in the kitchen knocking up something marvellous for dinner. That would be a more sensible option, I think. 2 or 3 chang doesn't sound a lot, but you know, when you're walking on this stuff. And apologies to Fred. I did apologise at the time when he fell arse over tit and he got road rash all over his hands. There's so many slips, trips and falls here. Yeah, I know there's a few snakes and nasties as well. But yeah, I think for general safety on the farm, you know, beers and farming's quite dangerous anyway. I know we haven't got sort of like heavy plant machinery. I know we got shredder, yeah, a couple of other bits, strimmer and that sort of thing, but I'm not that bad. I won't go strimming when I'm pissed, although it might be quite eventful. The bigs are out. Well, some of them are. We've got 2 under the weather at the moment. One of you guys called Shane, very experienced livestock farmer, was talking about some of the issues we've had and then the improvements we've had from the changes that we made. So the proof will be in the pudding during the next rainy season. And I wouldn't say goat farming is particularly easy at the best of times, but when you get the rainy season, you know, certain goats do struggle in a tropical climate. We've got a bit of a all creatures great and small vibe going on at the moment, and I'm half vet, half farmer. I suppose that's part and parcel of being a livestock farmer, isn't it? Now over there's a sugar cane. Oh, they're just shooting off. Bright yellow birds. I think they're basket weavers or something. I might be totally wrong, but yeah, there's a sugar cane plant. It's coming out at about 45 degrees over the side of the lake, and yeah, they've started weaving their baskets. They're amazing. We found one on the floor when we were looking for mud mushrooms in the bamboo the other day, and there was some cheeping going on, and picked it up, and Toon had a look inside. You couldn't see the chick or chicks, but you could see about where they were, so we we dusted the ants off it and hung it back up in the bamboo. Hopefully the parents will come back. We get so much wildlife on the farm now, and birds we haven't seen before. I know we've seen these, if they are basket weavers, these yellow things, and yeah, we've seen them before, but people used to come on this land and steal the nests. You know, they're so ornate. I'll try and get one on film for you in the future. But a lot of people were hunting at night. We still let Toon's nephew hunt wild birds. I know it sounds bad, doesn't it? But there's so many here, and he generally goes for the ones that eat fish, so it's not like he's out every night, but I suppose he's culling them. He's keeping the numbers under control. Please don't give us any sticks. Before there was chuffle birds left anywhere around here. Now it's I wouldn't say it's a safe haven, but it is a bit of it is a bit of an oasis for them. We're getting a lot of birds that we haven't seen before. Clueless what species they are. It's good to see. I know one of you is saying you should set up some housing for them. It's these sort of things, you know, I don't know, it's so busy every day, all day, every day. Certainly we're trying to fit the videos in as well. I mean, I don't record as much as I'd like to, so jobs like that, they might not take you very long, but for me, I'd have to research and make sure I'm doing it right. Then I've got to get the materials and do it. I'm making excuses, aren't I? But it's at this time of year, it's so busy. I'm already getting pushed from one pillar to post, you know, all over the shop, and it's very hard to keep up. So the battery overheated. Well, I don't think it has overheated because it's not particularly hot, but it is very, very sticky today, so it's the humidity that's playing havoc with it. So I need to try and wrap things up a little bit quicker. I'm fully aware, guys, that this video is coming across that I've almost made it up in my mind that I will drink again. You know, I suppose you could be like making excuses. You know, originally this challenge was for 12 months. Then after a few months, I thought, oh, I got this cracked. Well, I always knew I was going to see it out. I'm pretty strong with those sorts of challenges that I'm in control of. That's not me being big-headed, you know. If I'm going to say I'm going to do something and give myself an ultimatum, like tell thousands of people I'm going to do it, I'm not going to do it. So, you know, to complete the challenge, you know, another 6 months or just less, it's not a problem. After that, yeah, I'm probably going to drink again. But what has surprised me is at one point, and maybe in the future as well, before the year is up, I will be questioning it again. What I hope comes out of all of this, at the very, very least, is that I've reset my brain, that I don't need 2 beers every single day. You know, that the enjoyment would come back again, you know, whereas before it was just automated, 2 beers, end of the day, standard issue. You know, and that's one of the reasons why care for your nuts, Leigh. That's one of the reasons why I gave up. Anyway, so complete the challenge has always been the objective, first and foremost, and then after that, to go back out to, at the very least, to go back to how it used to be for me. Like, you know, I'd only drink at a weekend, you know, and sometimes, I mean, I went quite a while without drinking in my first, you know, my first marriage. It's probably I don't know why it was doomed to fail, that marriage. I can't blame it on not drinking, but then again, maybe if I had been drinking back then, it might have dulled the pain of the marriage and I might have carried on for another year or two. Heaven forbid. Is it my brain playing tricks on me? It could be, but I'd like to think that the tide is turning, and you know, I'm having a bit more control over things. You know, I've been for many years where I don't have to be like that. Then I know I've got it in my locker. I mean, if I can give up it for a year, you know, I can give up for a few days. Although, you know, when I first started this, I thought, no, it's easier to give up for a whole year than it is for a month. I don't know whether some of you are a bit disappointed. I don't know whether some of you are like, oh, it's that he changed his mind. You know, I might change my mind again. This is the thing when you've been in a routine for so long. It takes a lot to break that. And does it mean that if you don't break that habit for forever, that you can't have somewhere in between? You know, a lot of you guys have said, and I agree with you, always have done on this, nothing wrong with having a couple of beers a day. Well, I'd like to sort of like go a little bit further than that and say nothing wrong with having a couple of beers when you fancy it. You know, I don't want to sort of like try and validate my efforts on the farm for a day by having 2 beers. I just think, you know, oh, today, yeah, I fancy a couple of beers with the missus. Instead of, oh, it's bloody 4 o'clock, let's get the ale out. Is it a bit overreacting? You know, geez, Leigh, it's only 2 beers. You know, I've had that sort of style comment before. For a lot of people, that would be the case, yeah, but for me, from doing that for quite some time, no, it's... Nah. I think this is it, isn't it? We're all different. And if something doesn't feel right to you, then you should do something about it. But it's awkward. It's very, very awkward. And that's why I thought I'd do this video in a little bit of a different style, because, you know, drinking is a very, very personal thing. And it's hard not to come over judgmental. It's hard not to come over as a know-it-all. And that's why I thought, well, I owe it to you guys to give the other side of it, where, you know, it wasn't too long ago that I was just like, do you know what, there's a real chance that I won't drink again. And now at the moment I'm thinking, you know what, there's a real chance I will, but not to the extent before. Can I do it? I think I'm strong enough in the old noggin to do it, and I don't think that's me playing tricks on myself. There is something underlying though, that even after giving up for a whole year, when I have a beer after that, to sort of like celebrate, which is crazy, isn't it? Then I might feel like I failed. It's a bit weird, isn't it? And I don't want it to be like that. I wanted it to be like a struggle and challenge myself. There's no point in doing it if it's too easy, is it? You know, do something that you've been doing stop doing something that you've been doing for so long in autopilot. Get the health benefits and the monetary benefits of doing that. But see where it leads afterwards. We never ever know, do we? We never ever know. It's all come out a bit gobbledygook at the end, doesn't it? So let's finish on this super slow-mo, if the camera doesn't pack up.